The days that followed were filled with quiet collaboration. Lyra no longer hovered in the doorway, pretending casual interest. Now she engaged with Alex's work directly, offering insights, observing outcomes, and sometimes challenging his assumptions. Their small quarters had become a workshop, an informal lab where human ingenuity met alien precision. Alex had never expected an alien roommate to be so invested in his work, and he had never realized how much he needed a partner who could see things from a completely different perspective. Lyra's species was meticulous, logical, and skilled at problem-solving in ways humans could barely imagine. She noticed patterns, predicted reactions, and spotted inefficiencies in Alex's designs that even he had overlooked. "Your energy regulator here," she said one afternoon, pointing at a complex device. "You are relying too much on a single feedback loop. If it fails, the entire system collapses. I suggest adding a secondary monitoring sequence. It will stabilize fluctuations in extreme conditions." Alex frowned, leaning over the workbench. "I hadn't considered that. I thought the primary loop would handle the variations." Lyra tilted her head, her expression calm but firm. "It will for normal ranges. But in this environment, fluxes are unpredictable. You must anticipate anomalies. That is how progress survives." He nodded, realizing the truth in her words. He adjusted the design, integrating her suggestions, and watched as the simulations produced far more stable results. As the weeks passed, their partnership grew stronger. Conversations that once consisted of short, careful sentences now included laughter, shared frustrations, and friendly debates. Alex found himself explaining not only engineering concepts but also human ideas, ethics, and the small peculiarities of his species. In turn, Lyra shared insights about her own culture, mathematics, architecture, and energy systems far beyond anything humans had developed. One evening, Alex brought out the compact propulsion module he had been developing, the one that had shocked her weeks earlier. "I've refined it," he said cautiously. "It's ready for initial testing, but I wanted you to be the first to see it in operation." Lyra studied the device, her large eyes reflecting a mixture of curiosity and concern. "This is ambitious. Are you certain you are prepared for the consequences of failure?" "I've considered the risks," Alex replied. "I've run simulations, stress tests, and safety protocols. It should work." They moved to the small testing bay connected to their quarters, a space designed for minor experiments. The bay hummed with the energy of life support systems, control panels, and diagnostic instruments. Alex carefully placed the module on the central platform, connecting it to monitors. Lyra observed silently, her posture tense yet composed. "Activate it slowly," she instructed. "We must monitor the energy conversion carefully. Even minor miscalculations could create a hazardous field." Alex nodded, taking a deep breath. He initiated the sequence, watching the displays as the module hummed to life. Streams of energy flowed through its conduits, stable at first, but then fluctuating unpredictably. Alarms blinked faintly, signaling minor instabilities. "Adjust the frequency by 2 units, Lyra suggested calmly. "Not too much. Just enough to balance the flux." Alex followed her instructions, and the fluctuations stabilized. He grinned, feeling a surge of triumph. The propulsion module had successfully generated a controlled field. It was a breakthrough, something that could not only prove humanity's ingenuity but also serve as a bridge between species. Lyra stepped closer, examining the device. "Remarkable," she said. "You have surpassed what I believed a human could achieve. This could change how our species interact with energy sources across the station." Alex felt a mix of pride and relief. But the triumph was short-lived. A sudden alert flashed on the station's main monitors, a warning that someone had detected unusual energy signatures emanating from their quarters. The security system automatically flagged it for review. Lyra's expression changed immediately, from admiration to urgency. "They know," she said, her voice steady but firm. "We must move quickly before this attracts attention from the station authorities or factions within my species who might not approve of this technology being in human hands." Alex's heart raced. "What do we do?" Lyra scanned the room, her mind racing. "We relocate the module to the secondary containment bay. It has emergency shielding and its location is registered only under authorized personnel. Us. We must act immediately." Working together, Alex and Lyra carefully disconnected the module, shielding it with portable energy dampeners to mask its signature. Their combined efforts were precise, almost instinctive. Each understood the other's strengths, the human's creativity and adaptability, the alien's analytical precision, and their synergy allowed them to move faster than they could have alone. Once the module was safely relocated, Lyra exhaled quietly. "That was close," she said, though her voice carried no fear. "Attention is inevitable, but we have bought ourselves time." Alex nodded, feeling both exhilaration and tension. "I didn't expect this to happen so soon. I just wanted to test my invention, not trigger a security alert." Lyra studied him, her expression unreadable. "Your intentions are honorable, but the universe does not always distinguish between intentions. It judges by consequences." The next few days were a careful dance of observation and secrecy. Alex continued refining his devices, with Lyra advising him on modifications to reduce detection while increasing efficiency. Their work attracted the attention of other residents on the station, though few understood its significance. Rumors spread about unusual energy readings, mysterious experiments, and a human who might be more capable than anyone had expected. One evening, as Alex prepared for sleep, Lyra entered quietly, carrying a small holographic interface. "I have a proposition," she said. "If you are willing, I would like to collaborate more openly. Together we could develop technologies that benefit both humans and Ilyari, and potentially prevent misuse by those who fear or underestimate us." Alex considered her offer. "That could be risky, but I trust you, and I think we could achieve more together than alone." Lyra's expression softened almost imperceptibly. "Then we begin tomorrow. There is much to accomplish, and time is limited." The following day, their collaboration entered a new phase. They worked on a series of devices that combined human ingenuity with alien technology: energy converters, environmental stabilizers, and miniaturized propulsion systems. Their experiments were meticulous, carefully tested in controlled environments and refined repeatedly. Despite the intense work, their bond grew stronger. Alex learned to anticipate Lyra's methods, and she learned to appreciate the human flair for improvisation. Their friendship became a blend of mentorship and mutual respect, built on shared discovery and the thrill of overcoming challenges together. But the station had its own pace, and secrecy could only last so long. One morning, as Alex was calibrating a device, a message arrived through the station's secure channel. It was from a high-ranking observer, requesting an immediate report on any experimental devices in their sector. Alex felt his stomach tighten. "They found out?" he muttered. Lyra examined the message, her eyes narrowing. "Not yet," she said. "This is a preemptive inquiry, but it means they are aware of unusual activity. We must prepare a demonstration. Show them the utility, not the danger." Alex nodded. "You mean, prove it works safely?" "Exactly," Lyra replied. "We show competence and control. That way, our work cannot be dismissed or misused without consequence." The demonstration was set for the station's main auditorium. Residents and officials gathered, curious and cautious. Alex stood beside Lyra, his nerves taut. He activated the devices one by one, carefully explaining their function, safety features, and potential applications. Energy flowed smoothly, systems stabilized, and the audience watched, some skeptical, others amazed. By the end, murmurs of astonishment filled the room. Officials approached, asking questions, seeking clarifications. Alex could see respect growing in their eyes, respect for the human who had achieved something extraordinary. Lyra stood beside him, her expression calm but proud. "You have proven yourself," she whispered. "Not just as an engineer, but as a representative of your species. Humans are not to be underestimated." Alex felt a sense of accomplishment unlike any he had known. He had started as a tinkerer, a human alone on a distant station. Now he had not only created technology that mattered, but also forged a partnership with an alien who saw his potential and the potential of humanity. As the crowd dispersed, Lyra turned to him with a faint smile. "This is only the beginning. There are more challenges ahead, but now they will know humans are capable, humans can contribute, and together we can achieve what neither species could alone." Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and determination. The universe was vast, unpredictable, and often dangerous, but with Lyra at his side, he felt ready to face whatever came next. The night settled over the station, the hum of machinery echoing through the halls. In their shared quarters, Alex and Lyra returned to their workbench, already planning the next set of experiments. Outside, the stars of Thesara glimmered, distant but full of possibilities. And inside, a human and an alien had discovered not only the thrill of invention, but also the power of trust, respect, and collaboration across species. Alex had always been fascinated by machines. From the moment he could hold a screwdriver, he spent hours taking apart old gadgets and figuring out how they worked. On Earth, this curiosity had earned him a modest reputation as a young prodigy in engineering. But now, years later, aboard the massive space station Orbis 9 orbiting the gas giant Thesara, his skills had brought him to a new world, a world where humans were just one of many species sharing space. He had been assigned a roommate, something the station authorities claimed would promote interspecies understanding. Alex wasn't entirely thrilled. Sharing a living space meant he had to explain, justify, or sometimes hide parts of his life. And for someone like him, whose life revolved around inventions and experiments, hiding was easier said than done. His roommate, Lyra, arrived one evening in a burst of silent grace. She belonged to the Ilyari, a species known for their striking features: tall, slender forms, skin with faint, iridescent patterns, and eyes that seemed to perceive light differently than humans. Lyra was polite but distant. She carried herself with the elegance of someone trained in observation, and she rarely spoke without purpose. "Your equipment," she said one evening, standing at the doorway of their shared quarters. Her voice was melodic, calm, and precise. Alex froze. He had been so careful. The workbench in the corner, stacked with intricate tools, glowing displays, and components he had scavenged from various places across the station, was supposed to be his private world. What equipment?" he asked, trying to sound casual. Lyra's eyes narrowed, not in suspicion, but in curiosity. "That," she said, gesturing to the array of devices. Her expression shifted in an instant, from neutral to astonished. "I did not think humans could build such things," Alex laughed nervously. "It's nothing, really. Just some personal projects. I like tinkering." He tried to play it down, but he knew it was a weak attempt. He could see the disbelief lingering in her gaze. Lyra stepped closer, her long fingers hovering over one of the devices without touching it. "This design, it is highly sophisticated. The energy flux control alone is beyond most species at your technological stage." Alex's stomach tightened. Not only had she seen it, but she also understood it, or at least enough to know it was impressive. He had spent months developing the main device, a compact energy generator that could convert small amounts of cosmic radiation into usable power. If it worked as intended, it could revolutionize energy distribution on the station, or anywhere humans settled. I just followed the manuals," Alex said, shrugging. "I mean, I combined a few ideas, tried different circuits, and it worked." Lyra's expression softened slightly. "You are inventive. Humans often rely on brute force or trial and error. Yet you apply logic and subtle manipulation. This is unexpected." She paused, tilting her head in a gesture Alex found strangely human. "I must confess I am impressed. Perhaps more than I should be," Alex blinked. "More than you should be?" "Your species is underestimated," Lyra said, her voice quieter now. "Many believe humans are weak, unsophisticated, or reckless. I had no reason to think otherwise. Until now." Alex felt a surge of pride and wariness at the same time. Pride because she had acknowledged his skill, and wariness because he had no idea what many meant. Lyra was clearly thinking about something larger than their room, about factions, politics, or cultural judgments he had yet to learn about. "I'm glad you like it," he said, attempting to keep the mood light. But, please don't tell anyone about this. Some people wouldn't understand." Lyra's gaze held his for a long moment. Finally, she nodded. "I understand caution, but it is difficult to ignore what I have seen. The question remains, how will you use it? And who else will know?" Alex realized she was right. His inventions weren't just toys. In the wrong hands, even a human-level device could cause major trouble. He had always hoped to share his ideas for peaceful applications, improving energy efficiency, life support systems, environmental control. But the galaxy wasn't always peaceful. I want to use it to help people," he said finally. "If I can get the station authorities to approve it, maybe the generators could power habitats, help with emergencies, things like that." Lyra considered his words. Then your intent is noble. But you must be careful. Knowledge such as yours can draw attention. Some attention is dangerous. She paused, then, with a hint of warning, added, You will learn soon enough that there are those who underestimate humans, and there are those who fear them. Alex nodded slowly. He wasn't sure what she meant, but he could sense her sincerity. She wasn't joking. Somehow, simply living with Lyra had made him aware of the broader stakes of his work. Over the following days, Lyra continued to observe him quietly. She asked occasional questions, often technical, sometimes philosophical. Alex found himself explaining concepts he had never needed to verbalize before. At first, he had felt embarrassed by the scrutiny, but over time, her curiosity felt less like judgment and more like interest. One evening, Alex was adjusting a delicate component when Lyra entered the room silently, as she always did. You modify it differently than I expected, she said softly. Your method? It is adaptive. You learn as you go rather than following static rules. Fascinating. Alex smiled, a little sheepishly. I guess I just like to see if something works before worrying too much about the theory. Risky, she observed, yet effective. I am surprised that your devices function consistently under such unorthodox methods, he chuckled. Sometimes the best way to learn is to try it and see what explodes. Lyra's expression did not change, but he thought he detected a faint trace of amusement in her eyes. Explosions are enlightening, she said, almost in a whisper. Their interaction slowly built a quiet bond. Alex began sharing minor projects with her, testing her reactions and explaining ideas. Lyra, in turn, began offering subtle suggestions, tips, small improvements, or alternative approaches. She never imposed her methods, but her insights were sharp and occasionally revolutionary. Then one night, while adjusting a new prototype, Alex heard a soft gasp behind him. He turned to see Lyra staring at the device he had been secretly constructing for weeks. A compact propulsion module, capable of altering gravitational fields in small areas. Her shock was obvious. Her eyes widened and she stepped back slightly, as though the device might spring to life and harm her. This is human-made? She asked, disbelief lacing her voice. Alex swallowed. Yes, it's still experimental. I've been working on it in secret because I wasn't sure if it would, work. Lyra approached slowly, her curiosity now tempered by caution. She examined the module from every angle, running her fingers lightly along its surface, not touching but observing. Your species. I underestimated humans. This is extraordinary and dangerous, Alex nodded. I know. That's why I didn't show it to anyone. She turned to him, her eyes locking with his. You must be careful, Alex. Your work could draw attention. Attention you are not prepared for. And there are those in my society who would not see it as neutral. He could feel the weight of her words. Lyra wasn't just expressing admiration. She was issuing a warning. In the vastness of space, even small technological advances could shift power, provoke fear, or spark conflict. I understand, he said. I wanted to see if humans could do it. If we could really create something that matters. Lyra's expression softened. You have done more than create. You have surprised me. And in surprising me, you have proven that humans have potential far beyond what many believe. For the first time, Alex felt truly recognized, not just as a human among many species, but as a capable, intelligent individual whose work mattered. Lyra's acknowledgement was different from praise. It carried a deeper weight, a respect born from understanding, observation, and perhaps a hint of admiration. That night, as Alex worked quietly while Lyra watched, he realized that their accidental discovery had opened more than a door to his room. It had opened a door to a partnership that could change both of their worlds. Yet in the back of his mind, he couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something might be watching, and if they discovered his work before he was ready, it could bring consequences he was not prepared to face. For now, though, there was the quiet of the lab, the soft hum of machinery, and Lyra's watchful presence. The galaxy was vast, uncertain, and often dangerous. But here, in this small room on the orbiting station, a human and an alien had found a fragile connection, built on curiosity, ingenuity, and the subtle thrill of discovery. And somewhere deep inside, Alex knew that this was only the beginning.